So this is what we're making, a simple little rabbit ear bail, and you can adjust the wire sizes and the height to whatever you need. I'm going to make a rabbit ear bail, and initially I thought I would pierce it out of sheet metal. So to pierce it out of sheet metal, we'd have a triangular shape, and then we just pierce out a triangular pattern so that when we folded it, it would have the shape of the bunny ears. But I thought that's too plain, so I'm going to make it out of half-round wire, and this is 2.4 wide and 1.4 high. Yeah. Now you can buy half-round wire, or you can run it through the rollers, or you can pull it through a draw plate. It's probably easier to buy it. So these two pieces, 24 millimeters long, we'll just cut that, and then we'll solder the ends together. So make sure your pieces are annealed. Put a dot in the middle. With the texture, Sharpie. Then we're going to hold it sideways in our parallel jaw pliers. Using two parallel jaw pliers, and we're going to give it a bit of a bend. And that is so it doesn't stick together when it's soldered. Because if you have two pieces of wire that are sitting next to each other, because solder has a capillary action, it'll fill a space. If you have two wires that are perfectly together and you run the solder, it'll just run as far as the solder will go. So what I'm going to do now is file a small flat where these touch, and then we'll put a little piece of solder on either end and solder it, hard solder. Now, if you hold this with your parallel jaw pliers here, and you brace this against your bench peg, you can, when you file the flats, you file them both, and you can see that it will be an equal amount on either end. So I'm just going to brace one end against my bench peg. And you can see I've got just, when it focuses, I've got just a tiny flat on either end. So we do the other one, and we'll get to soldering. Perfectamente. So flex the whole thing so that we don't have fire scale. Place your piece of hard solder where they touch. Place it with your brush, your flex brush. And we're ready to rock and roll. So I've got a neutral flame. We'll just gently warm this up until our flux dries out. So I'm just circling the one end. the flux will go clear, then the solder will flow. Ta-da! Switch to the other end. Yep, solder flowed. And just gently push to make sure that the two are together. Now push it again to make sure that it doesn't stick to your charcoal block. Yep. Quench it and pickle it. Tidy up your soldering if you need to, if you were sloppy. This one is good on the front. The back is a little bit rough, so I'm just going to rub that on a sanding stick. And at this point you need to file the ends flat and just brace it vertically against your bench peg and use your number 2 cut flat hand file. Now if you want a wider gap than this, you can just stick a burnisher in and twist it. I'm going to leave this the way it is. And we're going to take our flat round pliers and put the round bit on the inside in the middle, and we're just going to push this around. And if it's too tough to push with your fingers, you can push it against your bench peg. And slightly twisted so you can grab your parallel jaw pliers to hold it. Take the twist out. And there it is, your rabbit ear bail. So now you just solder it on to your piece. Done.